Most creators think cinematic color grading requires expensive software or some kind of technical background. Well, it doesn't. Everything I'm about to show you is already inside CapCut, and once you see it, your footage won't look the same again. I'm Agnes, and I'm here to help you master CapCut the easy way. Let's jump in. Before we touch a single slider, there's one step that can completely break your colors, especially if you shot an iPhone in Apple Log. Apple Log isn't supposed to look good. It's designed to look flat, washed out and desaturated, because it's capturing as much detail and dynamic range as possible. But this isn't a finished image, it's raw data. And if you start editing on top of it without converting it first, you're building your entire color grade on a broken foundation. So before anything else, you need to convert it to Apple Log, to Rec. 709, the color space your screen actually displays. Skip this and your footage will end up too contrasty, oversaturated and inconsistent, no matter what you do next. Check this out. Go to the Adjustment tab at the top, then tap LOT. You will see your saved LOTs here. The Apple Log to Rec. 709 LOT is the one you need. Drag it onto your clip. Your footage immediately looks natural, properly exposed and ready to grade. If you're not shooting in Apple Log, skip this step. But if you are, this is non-negotiable. Now let's build on that. Now tap on your clip and go to the Adjust panel, Basic tab. Start with Exposure. This controls the overall brightness of the image. On a well-exposed shot, you may not need to move it at all. If your footage is slightly too bright or too dark, make small moves only, around -3 or +3. Next, bring contrast up to around 18 to 20. This separates your darks and lights and gives the image more depth immediately. Then pull highlight down to around -15 to -20. This recovers detail in the bright parts of the frame. Finally, bring shadow up to around 15 to 17. This lifts the darkest areas just enough that you're not losing detail where the light doesn't reach. Temperature and tint are two of the most important sliders in this panel, and most people treat them like a fixed role. They are not. You're reading the light in your shot and adjusting it. Stay on the Basic tab and find Temperature. If your footage is already warm, golden hour, afternoon sun, it can easily drift to yellow. Pull it back slightly, around -5 to -7 usually brings it back into balance. Now look at tint. A small move towards the negative side, around -5, pulls it away from pink and gives it a cleaner, more natural feel. If your footage is cooler, overcast, shade, early morning, do the opposite. A small push up around +5 to 10 adds just enough warmth to bring it back to life. You're not fighting the light. You're shaping it. The goal isn't to make everything warm or everything cool. It's to make it feel right for the shot. And if someone notices your color grade, you've probably gone too far. This next one is the one that takes your grade from looking generally nice to looking properly intentional. HSL lets you control individual colors inside your footage without touching the others. The reason this matters is that real footage has skies, skin tones, clothing, and greenery all sitting in the same frame. HSL gives you control over hue, saturation, and brightness. Hue shifts a color to a different color entirely. Saturation controls how vivid or muted it is. Brightness controls how light or dark it is, independently of everything else in the frame. My footage has a red shirt in the frame. in bright outdoor light. Pull the saturation down to around -20 and watch what happens. The shirt settles back into the image instead of pulling focus. The rest of the frame doesn't move at all. This is brilliant. Another prominent color we have here is blue. Push the saturation all the way up to 100. See how the sky and water becomes richer and more present. Now shift the hue slider left to around -15 to 20. The blue deepens, 2 moves on one color, and the sky and water feel completely different. It's crazy. And the biggest impact in this whole section. I'm going to push this further than you normally would, so you can really see what's happening. In this footage, the trees, grass, and the water are all carrying green tones. It's the dominant color in the frame. Push saturation up towards +50 to 60. The whole environment becomes more vivid. Now pull brightness down to around -60. The greens go richer and moodier. The scene shifts from bright and summery to something that feels more grounded and cinematic. That one color, those 2 moves, changes the entire atmosphere of the shot. That's what HSL actually is. Not a filter, not a preset. It's a conversation with each color in your footage, one at a time. Just a quick one before we carry on. If you want assets to use with this, we've put together a free creator starter pack at @𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗘.com. You get horizontal mattes, social media mattes, online frames, an 𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗘 Rec 709 lot that we used earlier in this video, and 15 CapCut effect tutorials. Each one under a minute and designed to create the kind of scroll-stopping visual hooks that make people stop and watch. All free, link in the description. Now let's talk about LUT. A LUT is a pre-color grade you can apply to your footage in seconds. This clip is shot on a standard iPhone, no Apple log, no conversion needed. Go to Adjustment, LUT, and just drag one onto your clip. The moment you apply it, everything shifts. On the right, you will see the intensity slider. Pull it back. Most LUTs settle between 40 and 60. That's where they start working with your footage, not overpowering it. Just below the intensity slider, there's a Protect Skin Tone toggle. It's off by default. Watch this. Look at the skin tones right now with it off. Depending on the LUT, they can shift in ways that look unnatural, too orange, too flat, too cool. Now turn it on. Watch what happens. The skin tones correct back to something natural while the rest of the grade stays completely intact. If you have people in your shot, leave this on. It costs you nothing and it protects the most sensitive part of the image. The LUT I'm using here is from our Urban Cinematic LUT pack. 4 cinematic looks that work in CapCut and any other editing software. Links in the description. This is where most people give up. Curves. Most people open it, feel confused and close it. I want to change that right now, because once you understand what you're looking at, it becomes one of the most intuitive things in CapCut. Now let's get into curves. You're looking at a line running from bottom left to top right. That's your entire image mapped out. Push a point up and that part gets brighter. Pull it down and it gets darker. This is the Luma curve. It controls overall brightness across all tones. Now add 2 points. Gently pull the shadows down and lift the highlights slightly. Straight away, the image has more depth, more shape. 2 small moves, big difference. Now, this is where things start to get interesting. Scroll down to the blue channel. This line now controls only the blue in the image. Shadows on the left, highlights on the right. Lift the shadow slightly and look at the darkest areas of the frame. The shadows under the bench, the dark tree trunks, and the shaded ground pick up a subtle cool tone. Then pull the highlights down just a touch and look at the brightest parts of the frame. The sky, the sunlit grass, the light catching the bench. They lose blue and push slightly warm and golden. That contrast between cool shadows and warm highlights, that's where the image really starts to come alive. Cool shadows, warm highlights, two different color temperatures working together in the same frame. And suddenly, the image has depth. It just looks right. Once you see it, you won't unsee it. If this is your kind of detail, hit like and subscribe. There's a lot more coming every week. And if you want to push this even further right now, I've got another video breaking down 3 color effects. That's your next step. Now go create something awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.